guys, Dorothy here with Done by Dorothy, and we are here today working on our For the Love of Australia journal. And before we get started, I actually wanted to share, I actually got some awesome mail from one of my subbies, and she lives in Queensland, Australia. So she sent me some Australian things to use in our journal, so I wanted to share sort of that with everyone. So she sent me this gorgeous sheet of stickers, and there's the wombat and the bat, a dolphin, a whale, a mouse, the kangaroo and the little joey, another wombat, a koala, the squirrel glider, the eastern gray kangaroo, and the flying fox. So she sent me, and they're really cool stickers, so we'll have to use those. And she just sent a little note and it said, "Hi Dorothy, just a few bits and pieces for your Aussie journal. To say thank you for everything you do in our crafty community. Hope you can use some of the things I've sent. Looking forward to playing along with you. Hopefully work will settle down soon so I can again. Thank you. Kind regards, Kamali." So, and I think that's her name. Hopefully I didn't just hack your name up, but so she sent some different things. I'm going to set one of these aside so I don't lose it. She sent some gum nuts, and we're going to use that to hang on the outside for our dangle. So it's really, really pretty. I can't tell if it's, I think they're stamped on. So we're going to have to use some of those. And she sort of followed along with the green and the gold, so that was totally neat. She sent some notebook paper. Isn't that pretty? And I think those are some gum nuts, and maybe, I'm not sure if those are eucalyptus leaves, or, and there's a cute little koala. Isn't that cute? Use that for a tuck. And this is really pretty. It's just lots of some cute little note papers to use. And there's a page with an Australian map about the Australian climate, so that's going to be nice. I want to just tuck that in. I don't want to do anything with that. Maybe, you know, put a little material on top or something just as a little tab, but that's it. And then she sent me a couple pages from a, and let me double check. I think it was, let me see what it says. From a 1940s book of Australian poets called The Wide Brown Land. And it's Dorothea McKellar. And she thought it was really cute because of Dorothy and Dorothea. So then she sent me a couple pages from that. And it's all about the wide brown land. So those are going to be really, really cool. And again, some of these things I will put in there and maybe, you know, decorate the edges, but I'm going to keep it to where I can see both sides because I don't want to take away from that. There's a little wooden Australia, which is so cute. That'll be perfect on the cover. And there's some of that pretty yellow gold fabric. And there's some green and gold fabric, so that's really pretty. And I'll probably use some of these fabrics along the edges on some of the things that she sent. And again, following along with that green and the gold. And there's another piece of that. And then she sent me a couple napkins. There's one, and this is paper bark, and this bark is so thin. I don't know. I'm going to try to hold it sideways. I don't know if you can see it. How thin. I mean, I could try to measure it. It won't even measure on my roller because it's like literally super, super thin. So I thought that was really cool. I think I'm going to actually laminate it because I don't want to lose any of it. And there's some kookaburras. Okay, so that was cool. And then I think she said these were 2 different kinds of eucalyptus leaves. I think so. And if not, comment down below, Kamali, and I think that, I'm hoping I'm saying that, Kamali, you'll have to let me know exactly how to pronounce it. But 2 different types of leaves. There's of eucalyptus leaves, I think. I'm not sure about, I know these are eucalyptus leaves because I've seen these before. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited to use this in my journal. So how exciting. And that was so sweet. And totally not necessary, but thank you so much. And I will use some of it. I'm actually going to use part of the kookaburra one today. So I'm just going to, I've been trying to keep it in the bubble wrap sort of to protect it some, so I don't lose anything. And I'll lay that on top and the envelope on the bottom. So thank you so much. Totally, I mean, I totally appreciate it. It was so sweet. Okay, so let me reach over here and get my little kookaburra picture. And I think that's what these are. They look, the little heads are the same. The colors are a little different, but I think this does have some blue in it, so I think so. Maybe it's just... So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I'm going to go ahead and do my sort of bubble cutting that I've been doing around the pictures. And I'll go ahead and ink it up too. So, but thank you so much. I was so shocked. She contacted me about sending it, and then it got here so fast from when she said she sent it. I was amazed. It was so sweet. And I appreciate it. I love crafting, and yeah, I see you guys and talk to you guys and all that. So it was just so sweet. So thank you very much. And I'll probably say that 10 more times because every time I use something, I'll end up saying it's so sweet. Okay. So we inked that up. Let's go and put our lid back on our ink and get it over here. And of course, I'm going to put my napkin to the side that I'm going to be using. And of course, I'm working, and we've got our plain colored rock wallaby page. I still love that page. And the dingo. I still love that pocket page. There's the flying fox and the fruit bat. My husband likes this one. He thinks fruit bats are cool. There's the roselia, the spotted tail native cat, and the wombat. And our great flying possum. So let me pull this out. And I'm still sniffling, so trying to, this weather, it, you know, the 50 degrees to 20 degrees to snow to sun, it's just killing me. Okay, so I have my green tissue paper, and we're going to use it today. And I just have a piece here. I'm going to just sort of cut it a little bit bigger than what I need. And I'm not even worried about cutting it straight. I just sort of hack it up. And I think I got this tissue paper from the Dollar Tree, maybe? I'm pretty sure I got it from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm just going to wad it up really good. It's like we do sort of our brown paper when we're doing our covers. When we do our leather look. Okay. Then trying to find, I'm going to actually grab my glue stick, and I've got the Elmer's, and I'm actually going to use a glue stick for this because I don't want it to warp my page as much. I am going to go back with art glitter glue around the outside edges. So, and I'm not, as you guys know, if you've watched me at all, I hardly ever use glue stick. I just don't want this to warp. So, and I think with going around the outside edge with the art glitter glue, when we get done, it'll. And then I'm just going to uncrinkle my paper. And I'm just going to rub it. Now, I'm not rubbing it super hard. I'm rubbing it enough to adhere it, but not enough to, you know, shove all the wrinkles out. I want some of the wrinkles there. And then if you turn it over and go like this, you know, that'll hold it a lot. And then I'm going to get my art glitter glue out. And I'm going to pull this back on the edge. And again, I'm just going to put a nice coat of the art glitter glue along the edge. And if it's glued, then I pull it back a little bit. And then come down and do this side, and I'm just going to work my way around, sort of, you know, covering that edge. And we're just going to go all the way around the edge. And I just do this because I know that my art glitter glue will hold. Just in case, you know, and if it pulls loose, you just sort of push it up, and we can go back in there around the edge and re-glue that. And if you know a little wrinkle right in there, I can put some on top even, because this dries clear. Sort of almost like a Mod Podge, except, and it will push through, so I just sort of wipe it on there and that'll hold that. And I'm not worried about, again, the edge going on there because I'm going to put some of our ribbon around it when we're done. Okay, I can go through, and then what I do is, where I have this all crinkled up and I'm cutting this excess off, I can hold this aside, and then when we're doing the ephemera to put in, I can use it on my ephemera. And again, if you know you need to go back and trim it up a little bit, that's fine. Just try not to cut into your main page. I know every once in a while it's hard to do, because if you're cutting and you don't realize it, and the next thing you know you've chopped through it, but it's okay because we can cover it up. Okay, so I'm going to just set this aside because, again, I can use this when we're doing our ephemera. Okay. And that creates such a nice sort of feel to it. I'm just trying to make sure it's all adhered down really good. Okay, now I'm going to get my Distress ink and put just a little bit on there. And then I'm just going to sort of wipe that along, and that's going to sort of, you're not going to see so much with the flat parts. You're going to see the brownness with the, you know, the raised parts. And I mean, you can go wherever. I'm not going everywhere. Just certain areas. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to take my napkin. I don't have my tape. Let me grab a piece of, just use a piece of washi, because I don't have my regular tape here, and washi's a sticky enough to grab it if you, there you go. And a lot of times that's just enough to pull that coating off. And again, I can set that to the side. We can use it later. Okay. Now I'm going to oh, there it is. Trying to find me. Let me get my brush. Okay, and then I'm going to, I don't want to use all of it, so I'm going to place it around where I can sort of get to it. Then I'm going to grab my Mod Podge. And that's why I use my glue stick on the bottom, because I know I'm going to go back over it. But I want to make sure that I didn't like soak my, because a lot of times if you use Mod Podge, because of how wet it is, you know, it'll warp your page, especially with, you know, doing the second coat. I didn't want to just wet it to, you know, it was really, really bad. I don't want to soak it real bad. Okay, and then I'm just gonna lightly, I'm not putting a heavy coat on here because I know that I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna glue over top the other. I'm just putting enough glue on there to be able to attach it. And a little bit goes a long way when you're doing that, so. And again, you could do this with any kind of napkin. I'm using, I thought it was really neat because of being the Kookaburra napkin. So I thought I would use it. I thought it was so cute. See, I got all the way through that without saying thank you, except I just said thank you again, but it's okay. It was just really sweet. Completely unexpected. Okay. So now I'm going to be really careful because I don't want to waste any more napkin than what I have to. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to put just where there's just enough that I have to trim it, but not enough that it makes. And then again, I'm not going to worry about if it wrinkles because it's sort of the way it is. Okay, And again, I wipe that down just enough to stick. And I'm going to go around this really fast and cut the big parts off. I'm not really worried about this little edge over here. I can trim that up when it's dry. And you can see it already sort of bending some because of the wetness. But what I'll do is after I, normally what I would do, I would take it, dry it, smash it overnight, and then decorate it. Because I'm doing it on film, I'll go ahead and decorate it, and then I'll place it like between two heavy books. Okay, so now I'm going to go over, and I'm just going to go over and Mod Podge it. And what that's going to do is where we use that green tissue paper underneath, that's going to pull that green through in the background. So it's going to take that white background into a green background. And if you didn't want to, if you don't have, you know, the tissue paper to use, you can just paint it green with like acrylic paint, or, you know, use solid green cardstock. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else you could do. You could do, let's say, solid green cardstock. You could, I mean, technically, you could paint with crayons or pencils or watercolor. I probably wouldn't do watercolor because it's going to get really weird because of the water that's in the Mod Podge that we're using. And again, I'm just going to take that Mod Podge and cover the page, just like if you do it, if you're doing a tag or anything like that. It's the same concept. And I probably will, the rest of that napkin I will use. I can probably make a tag or two out of it. And you know, I want to use most of the Australian stuff that I got to go in my journal. Okay. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do is take my kookaburra, since this is already wet. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little extra in the middle, because I'm just going to put it in the middle. And I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to go right over top. And that's going to sort of adhere that down. Now I could leave this plain, but since we're already Mod Podging, I'm going to go ahead and go over it and sort of create almost like a leathery type page. When it's done, it'll, because this will dry clear and you have it almost like this really cool thin page. Although this will usually, even with using regular paper, it's going to warp it some, so it's going to give it some dimension. So I'm going to keep sort of putting some pressure against there to flatten it out. Okay, so let me put my brush back in my jar of water and put my lid on my Mod Podge and make sure this is it's not stuck down. Okay, I'm gonna grab my dryer real fast, just to speed things along. If you're doing this at home, just be careful. If you put it too close, it will cause bubbling and all kinds of issues. So make sure you know, keep it at a distance and keep it moving. Don't like concentrate it on one area, because it'll cause it to bubble and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I like the, you know, the thickness, the way it feels when you Mod Podge. It's pretty cool. And you could do a lot of things like with the paper bark and the eucalyptus leaves and things like that. I'm going to run those through my laminator with laminating film. I mean, there's just a ton of things that you could do with things like that. So, you know, if you don't have, you know, say you don't have, feel like you have a lot of things to add to ephemera and stuff like that, you can do a lot of things. I mean, you can take markers and draw on toilet paper or paper towels. Toilet paper tends to work better because it's thinner, and actually put it across here, or buy just white tissue paper, stamp your designs on it, and, you know, create your own background. You know, like, I know I have the video we did with the nature journal where you print in the background, and you could print these animals onto a background and, you know, create your own tissue paper with it. This is pretty close to being dry now. So you see we've got the wrinkles, and we've got some of the white coming through where it didn't. That's where when I was Mod Podging, I made sure there were certain areas I didn't get, so the white of the tissue paper came through a little better. Okay. And that was all it took to dry that. So I'm going to trim around this outside edge real fast. And again, I'm not worried about getting, you know, if the edges come loose or anything, because I'm going to put a decorative edge all there, over there, over it. I'm actually going to use a dark green. I'm actually going to use some of the paper gift wrapping ribbon that I bought on the tube that I use with the Christmas journal, because it's just a pretty, like, hunter dark green. See, that came out so good with the green. I love how the white came through it. So it, I mean, it looks like you really took this long time painting the background. And then this is the green that I have that I want to put around the outside edges, just to sort of give it more of like a painted picture look. So I'm actually going to use my Fabri-Tac for that, just to make sure it adheres really well. But I don't know if, so here's, that's what it sounds like when you hit it. After you do that, it's a lot, yeah, stronger of a page. Let me, just that one little spot there, trim it up. So it does add that stiffness you get like when you do, you know, a card. Now, if I hadn't put the kookaburra on here, and I obviously have holes poked in this, but I could have used the cardstock, did the same process like this, and then come in and cut that into 6 tags. And, you know, then I would just cut my rectangle, cut my corner off, flip my corner over, and clip it off, and had 6 tags out of that page, out of one napkin. And you can use any kind of napkin. You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, so if you want to use heart napkins, I mean, you can, you know, use any kind of napkin you want to if you're new and you're not familiar with it. I know a lot of us are old timers. And this is just the paper gift wrap ribbon that you buy at Christmas time. It actually curls if you know, use your scissors on it. But I'm just going to add it on here because I like the sort of dark green that it gives. So I'm going to put some of my Fabri-Tac on here. And again, I'm just going to line it up with my edge. Just because I want it to sort of have that off set look. I'm going to flip it over and trim it. And I could just do it on 2 sides, but I want to do it on all 4 because I want it to sort of have that framed look as if it's a painting. And see that dark green is just adding just a pretty edge around the outside of it. So I mean, this is real familiar if you're, you know, if you've made tags and stuff before, because, you know, this is pretty much the same process. You could take the same paper with the napkin on it and use a template for an envelope and, you know, make an envelope that has that decorated. If you were a Star Nature Mirabella Nature Journal from last month, and we did the envelopes we put in the center, it's the same concept. So I mean, you can use that concept just across the board. You know, you can do the same thing. You could use this for a cover of a soft cover journal. You know, and you know, if you don't have, I know I used the lightweight chipboard. If you don't have that, or you don't have a cereal box, you know, use a file folder. So I mean, you know, there's tons of way to get, or just a piece of cardstock, or, you know, if you don't have that, use a piece of, you know, old newspaper or whatever, you know. And if you're doing envelopes, you know, we all get junk mail, you know, all those little envelopes you get in all those, you know, well, you get tons of, I know we do here in the States, tons of like credit card advertisements and all that stuff. So you get tons of junk mail. Use one of those envelopes and cover it with the same. And so there is our page. I do want to do a tab on the side, or maybe a small amount of ribbon here. Let's use a piece of the fabric we just got. Maybe, let's use a double P. Let's use that. And then let me move this back over here. Set it to the side really fast. And then let me grab a little piece of the gold. Oops. That we have, because this will be perfect. Let me just cut sort of a straighter edge. There we go. Let's do this real wide. And that'll be good because that'll pull out the yellow that's in there, sort of from the background. Trim those little threads off a little bit. Okay. And then let's just take this right here. I love this fat. It's almost like a dandelion. That's what it reminds me of. And we'll trim that up. Let's do this in 2. We can use this for something else too. Put it over here. Put it down there. No, let's put it at the top. Maybe cut a corner where it gets both sides. And then let's do a button. I have a bunch of vintage buttons, so if I don't want to do, I don't think I want to do a gold one. I think I want to use a darker brown. So let me pause this and grab my little jar of vintage buttons, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my buttons here, so let me up here so I can see, to find one that I like. That's where it goes. I sort of want a darker brown one, but not something so outlandish. I'd sort of like to find a little these buttons, my mom actually found at an estate sale she went to of a long distance cousin of hers. She jumped on those and bought them for me. Look, it's even a smooth big top peanut butter lid. But there's quite a few buttons and stuff in there. Okay, I actually got this one, and it's like a fur covered button, but it's, I don't know if you guys, let me see if you can see how, I was trying to get to where you can see it really well. Let's see, where it's got that furriness to it that sort of reminds me of his head. So that would sort of pull out a little bit of that brown, and it's the same color brown as some of the stuff in there, so I think it would work. Yep. And I'm going to grab my stapler. I'm actually going to grab this and fold it up into a little bow shape. I'm not going to worry about the front. I'm going to take it from the back right at the bottom and staple it where it'll open up. Let me put some glue back here. Glue strings. Ugh. I can't be the only person that just squirms when you see those glue strings. Okay. And just hold that down a little bit. Okay. Then let me put a little bit on there, just a tad bit to hold that down. I'm gonna put a nice big dollop of glue there. And hopefully it'll stay. That glue there, and if we have to slide some under there to hold it down better, then we will. You know what, I'm gonna grab my art glitter glue, because I have this little bitty hole through here. I'm gonna try to slide some glue down in there. Just because when they have these little bitty holes, it seems like it works a little bit better just to get up in there than the art glitter glue, or the Fabri-Tac. Sorry. And you could have sewed that together and then just had to glue it down, but it's sometimes easier to just glue it down. So it has that cute little bow at the top. Trying to give this time to glue. Sometimes it takes a little bit to set up. So that sort of pulls with the dark green. And then you've got the browns and the yellow. And then I have the other I can use on tags where I'll leave that whole entire front like that, but I'll decorate the back. But leave where you really can see the accent. But I really like that. Okay. I think that's good enough. Okay. Let me grab my punch. And then I'm going to line it up and punch my holes. And those holes went straight through. And I think I actually did the back instead of the front on the page, but that's okay. We'll do the front tomorrow. Okay, so flip over here to where we put our page in. Yeah, we actually did the back of it and not the front, but it's okay. Because as we add all our different pages and such in there, you know, we can move them around in whatever order we need them to be. It's actually on the back, but that's okay. It's okay, and then there we go. So it's got our little, I think, the little bow. Hope you guys can see it. There we go. So again, this was page number 7. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, page number 7. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do page number 8. We might do 2 pages tomorrow, or I don't know. We'll decide. I know I'll do at least 1 page tomorrow, and then probably Monday and Tuesday we'll do front and back on 2. Try to resituate and get there. So, but that's where we're at so far, and let me go this way. It's probably easier to go this way. Flip it over, and then you can see our little bow sort of sticks out the top and the bottom. So tomorrow we will work on, you know, putting some stuff up on the top edge, and start working on the top edges, get something there, another down here, and 3 more up there, and we'll be good to go. So it's getting all poofy and fluffy outside, and we still have all of our stuff ephemera to put inside. So, and I mean, it's already starting to get sort of fluffy. So we'll be back again tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe. You guys all know all that from now already. So information will be in the description box below, link to the free digitals and all that. So have a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye.